Hey everybody, Deontay Damper here, a part of the Build leadership team. And if you don't know what Build is, that's Brothers United in Leadership Development. And we are here with the second episode of Build Offers Labor Standards Education podcast, okay? And if you don't know what that is, Build is partnered with the Seattle's Office of Labor Standards to focus on labor standards to help educate and inform community, not just about their rights and responsibilities, but also more about more assistance with helping to navigate some of the employees of the city of Seattle, right? But this time around, we're doing something different. We wanted to acknowledge our local artists out there. So we wanted to focus on our artists. We know that we have great artists that have came out of Seattle, such as Shayna Shepherd, such as Sassy the Cat. And, today I'm very happy to have not just an amazing artist, but I also will say she's an amazing friend. She is at everyone else's events and she has very many jobs, but she also is an artist and she should be respected about her stuff, right? I'm so happy to have my girl Cassie here. How you doing, sister?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing great now that I see you, right? Every time I see you, you bring a smile to my face. And before we get into some of the questions, can you let community know a little bit more about some of the works or the many jobs that you have?
You mean my regular job or
no, your passion, which is who you are, which is you.
Oh man, I love people. I love community. I love youth. I love mentoring. I mentor with young Black girls at YWE, and I love performing. I love writing. I write a weekly blog that uplifts and empowers us and the stuff that I go through. I bring you into my life so that if you're going through something and I'm going through something, we can go through something together. So, I wear a lot of hats, but I love to create. I love writing. I sing in the shower. I don't sing out loud, but I sing in the shower.
I never heard you sing.
Jesus. Yeah.
One thing but also, author,
I always forget that. I'm sorry.
Author, tell us a little bit about your book.
So I have it right here.
And she got it right here. She forgot it, but she got the book right there. Go ahead.
It's called Identity Crisis, play on the words. And it's just a delve into my life from the time I was born to age 45. And it just takes you through everything that I've been through. When you look at me, you don't see street pharmacists, you don't see gang banging, you see church woman. I'm a mixed, as you can see, I'm Black, but my mama white, my daddy Black, and just navigating through the world, not really knowing who I am as a Black woman. And it took me 45 years to come into who I am as a Black woman. So this takes you through the journey of finding myself, the struggles, the depression, and the overcoming, the just everything that a lot of people go through, but it's my story and you can relate to different pieces of what I've been through, and hopefully it'll take you to the other side so that you can reach your mountain or get over your mountain and find glory in everything that you've been through.
Yeah, and I love that, and we're gonna do some promo for that at the end too. And I've always just appreciated you just as an artist, right? And when we talk about like artists in our community, I think so much about fair pay. So when you hear the word fair pay or fair work in the arts, what does that mean to you?
When I hear fair pay, I being valued for the full weight of what I give, which is a lot. Like I give a lot. Writing and performing aren't just things that just happen. It comes from hours of reflection and emotional labor and storytelling that costs me deeply. Like I be crying, I be yelling, I be screaming, I be going through the things so that I can bring the art to people. Fair pay means not being just seen as someone with a hobby, because it's not just a hobby for me, even though I'm not really getting paid for it right now. It's not a hobby. It's in me. It's something that I want to do eventually and be compensated for on a regular. But I want to be seen as a professional who my art has impact and it's worth. It means giving me respect by not being asked to perform just for exposure, but being treated like my words and my energy matters.
See, girl, no, that was a great answer. And it's so interesting because when I think about artists that also have to work, while getting to that promised land, right? We know that we know some of the Seattle labor laws, such as our minimum wage and sick pay and time. Has that ever affected you in your creative work in any way?
Not directly, because I am an independent artist, so I don't fall under those protections. But those laws have raised the looks like in the city of Seattle. It's made some venues and organizers rethink what they offer us as artists. And I started to feel a little tiny bit more comfortable asking for a fair compensation. Still, like when you're going through sick or something, there's no safety net, and you just hope that your body's going to catch up and align up like the way it's supposed to. But thankfully, for me, I have a full-time job in another city, so I'm protected just a little bit when it comes to those things.
Yeah, and I think that's important, but I also know that it's hard for artists, right?
It's
So,
very
what do
hard.
you think like makes it hard for artists in like small creative businesses to understand these kind of ways to either advocate for some of the labor rules and folks?
I didn't go to school for business or human resources. I learned to create from my heart. I don't know how to read contracts or labor codes. I be trying to Google it, but Google don't always give me. Sometimes the rules can feel like they're written for somebody else's world, not mine. And so when you're juggling gigs, invoices, art, and a full-time job, it's easy to get lost trying to understand what rights you even do have. And there's also the fear of, if I'm asking too many questions, I might miss out on an opportunity.
Yeah, and that's why that's exactly why Builds is here to even educate some of our folks in that space. But I understand why doing a full time job. So looking at like maybe writing another book, also 7 gigs within a week, maybe some volunteer opportunities. Sometimes those things can be overwhelming, and on the behalf of Build and within the areas of Office of Labor Standards, what do you think the city or groups like Build 206 could do to better support artists and creative workers around fair rights and fair pay?
Let me slow down because I feel like I'm talking like really, really fast. And
No,
the
you do.
people are going to be like, oh, she's talking so fast. So let me slow down. But I think what Build could do, or the city, start by listening to us. Like really, really hear what we're saying. Host some roundtables or storytelling sessions where us artists can speak freely, like really free, about what it's like to survive in this arena. You can offer us practical workshops that will translate legal and financial languages into something we can actually use and understand. Create some funding and grant programs that require pay standards, and make sure those opportunities reach us, the local artists.
Yeah, that's real. I agree, and we writing it down. We taking notes. That's why we doing this podcast now to do a better job with listening, right? And then like looking ahead, how could I mean we're not just thinking here in the city of Seattle. We're thinking like once we make a little change, it can happen around the world. So looking ahead, how could labor laws better support people in the arts and culture around the world?
Okay, so looking ahead, I would love to see laws that recognize how creative work actually functions and how it often is unpaid until it suddenly isn't. Imagine if there were systems that let artists pay into a benefit pool or access healthcare and sick pay through gig work. That kind of protection could keep so many of us talented people from giving up our art just to survive. We deserve the chance to build stable and creative lives, not having to work a whole full-time job and an extra part-time job and still be able to create in between.
That's real. That's a message. That was a whole commercial on its own. The whole thing on its own. And then a lot of a lot of artists though. you know, they a lot of artists work as independent contractors, right? How does that impact your sense of stability and protection as a person in the Seattle art scene?
It's a constant balancing act for a lot of us. On one
Hold on
hand,
one
we
second.
have
Hold on
freedom.
one
We
second.
get to
Hold on one
speak
second, because you
our
went in and out.
own
Can you
truth.
do me a favor and just repeat what you were saying? Because you went in and out. I want people to
It
hear
is
it.
a constant. Okay, let me get a little closer. Sorry, I don't got headphones like you do. It is a constant balancing act for a lot of us. Like, on one hand, we have freedom. We can speak our own truths on our own terms. But that freedom often comes, it comes late. It can hit hard. Or I owe you. Okay, I owe you. Don't pay the rent that's due. Okay. But, there's no HR department, no guaranteed check on the first of the month. The instability doesn't hit me as hard as it hits others because I work a full-time job and now a part-time job. But it does make me question if I ever want to create even more and like lessen those jobs so that I can get into this space like almost full-time. Knowing that it's fickle at times, it can feed my art, but it also keeps me raw and real. I try not to let it wear me down so that I won't question myself, because I love to create. But I wish the system.
I'm so sorry. You said you wish the system. What, Cassie? Say that one more time. Hold on. Your sound is going in and
I
out.
wish the system loved us
There we go.
creatives the way we. Oh my gosh. I'm
Do it
so
one more
sorry.
time. Do it one more
I
time.
wish the system would love creatives back this with the same energy that we give it. We give so much of us into the system, but the system don't love us the way we love the system.
That was a word. That was a word. And one of the things that is really important to us, like you were saying, doing more active listening. That's one of the main reasons why we wanted to make sure we created this kind of podcast, so we can let other artists not only see yourself, but also see that Bill 206 also has a space for people to get educated on some of their rights, right? Now, before we do get out of here, I do want to ask you to tell us more about where we can find you. What are some of the things you're working on? And if you had to give a message to artists, what would it be?
You can find me on all social media platforms at Cassie Karch. That is CASSIE KARCH. And you can also go on my website, which is CassieKarch.com. What's coming up next is I have a book. It's entitled The Odd One Out. It should be coming out within the next 3 months. I'm waiting on the editor. But what I would tell creatives is to never stop creating, because you were given that talent and that gift to reach the world. And even if it's just one person that you touch today, you've done the job. So don't stop creating. Don't give up. Keep pushing ahead, because you know what? Our breakthrough is just around the corner. So don't give up and don't quit. You got this.
No, that don't give up. That's one of my favorite poems you do, and I appreciate you. And thank you so much, Cassie, for coming in. And I just want to thank community too. If you want to get more education and learn more about the labor standards out here in the city of Seattle, Bill 206 got you. Please go to bill206.com/labor standards and be in the know. Thank you so much, Cassie. And thank you so much, community. And until the meantime, in between time, continue to check out Bill 206, because we're building brick by brick. Thank you so much. Have a great day.